Need to hear one of our shows again? We've got them on podcast. Go to fmmoneytalkradio.com. Scroll down to Podcast on Demand. Pick your show and it's on. Podcast on fmmoneytalkradio.com.
Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They have been working around the clock, non-stop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it has never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP2TV at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Café is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Café studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Café and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Café. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Yes, he is. Welcome to the Brooklyn Café on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We're getting closer to Christmas.
Closer? I feel like we've been in Christmas for a month already.
It feels like that lump of cold is getting bigger and bigger.
You know, if you squeeze it hard enough, what happens? You get a diamond.
Don't listen to my friend here. She's in the vortex.
I've ascended.
Completely lost her mind.
I have to tell you, though, it was beautiful that I got to see that last night with the naked eye.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Do you know that if you keep looking at it, you'll see them move?
Thank you.
Who's on?
Sarah.
Thank you.
I love our high-level production crew. It's like my mother used to say, you sound like a washwoman. When you scream across the house.
Did she kick your phone?
No.
She dropped your phone?
No. The ghost did it.
No, it was the vortex.
The vortex took my phone and threw it across the stage.
Now, I've been working with Slick, and he gets mad at me and walks away. He's been doing this now for 2 days. Mm-hmm. So I said to him, I got to pay you. What do you mean? I says, you're still in the deal. So all of a sudden.
He's not walking away anymore?
He's not walking away. He even made me the drink of death, which nobody can drink. It's over there. It's going to go in the archive.
Save it for Gio. We'll freeze it and
for
let Gio have when he comes back.
Unbelievable. Nice job, Slick. We are talking about, we're going to be doing Tina's Hugs and Smiles, which is on a Tuesday.
Yes.
I had a little argument with her about that as well, but it's going to be on a Tuesday at 7:30. It's going to play. It's going to be powered by AMP Media Production, so I'm really happy about that.
All right, we got a lot going on. We got a big show lined up, a lot of people virtually, which is really cool that our platform gets to do that. We've got 3 guests virtually joining us. We've got Stacey Cohen in the house from Mosaic Design. We also have Wayne Henry joining us. We've got Chef Mark Fiore coming in at 1 o'clock. So
Yeah, a lot of parts. Do you know when you said Stacy Cohen, I thought she was somebody else. I know another Stacy Cohen.
I was going to say, it's kind of, yeah.
Stacy, now when
Look,
you
make
do
sure
the
her
show,
mic
make
is on,
sure that
please.
you talk into that microphone.
This mic.
Yeah, so that we can hear everything you have to say.
Okay. I'll talk.
Is it on, Slick?
Is it on?
Make sure that green light is on. So Stacy's been with us. We've been talking a little bit. I want to get into what Mosaic Design is. Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
No, you got to talk into the microphone.
I didn't realize where I was. Mosaic Luxe Design is a residential interior design firm in Boca Raton.
In Boca what?
Boca Raton.
Raton, not
Raton.
Raton.
I have an enunciation issue. I
like it. You sound like
all
you're from
of
New
the
York.
letters. All the letters get pronounced.
How do you say Boca Raton?
I say Boca Raton. Raton.
More, yeah. I use all the letters in the words. It's very important.
And I mix up the letters in the words. Like elephant has no F. Did you know that?
They have a big trunk. They like peanuts. They know that.
You can't say that word either. That's a bad word.
I can't
for
say
Freddie
that
to say.
either. They forbid me for saying certain words in this place.
You know what? They probably won't give you a job at a zoo then.
I like her. You
She's
can
as
be the
quick as
elephant
you.
to Ritz.
Give the elephant to Ritz. They make peanut butter Ritz, you know.
There you go. Peanut butter you're good with.
She's as quick as you are.
We're small and mighty is all I
Is
can
that
tell
what
you.
it is?
Yeah, we
You know, when you have about a height of 5 feet, you got to get your might from someplace else.
She's bigger than 5 feet.
about 5'1".
There you go.
Still over the threshold.
Must be the shoes.
Yeah, there you go. Tell
Now,
us about what
now,
you
you
do.
know, she's a somebody.
I know she is.
She's been on TV. She's been all over the place. I mean, you're a somebody. You know that.
You know what? In the reality TV world, I was a design star on HGTV.
How'd that happen?
How did that happen? Right time. It was a really fun production. They had taken over Design Star. I applied. I went in for a great interview. I had fun with it. I don't think I knew really what it was and how big it was. So when I went in, it was really innocent. It was like going for like the lead in your high school play, more so than thinking I was going to be on this big TV show. And I think that's what resonated about my personality for it. I just was in it because I loved design. I had been behind the scenes in production, so I just thought it was this really cool experience. So that's how it happened. It was in 2010. We shot it in New York, and it was a life
Was
changer.
it one show or a series?
No, it was one show. They have the series. It's a reality competition show, which means reality. And they've had a few seasons. I was on season 5. I think they're starting to bring it back.
Did you design a home?
No, it was staged. The only real place we were in was
The firehouse.
a firehouse, but everything else was kind of a stage set. We'd have an empty space that had not been utilized, whether it was an apartment. There was different apartments, I think, throughout New York that we would use, but they were empty. We'd get a challenge and had to come up with a story and a design. They would take us to different showrooms throughout the city, and you had like 2-3 days to turn it around and then go up on elimination and make it happen. And
Did they give you the things to work with, or did you pick your own things?
they did. Well, we'd go to different showrooms. So they did, nothing was out of pocket, but we'd have a theme. I remember one was a flower theme. We went to a flower shop. We picked numbers. We had to pick a flower and use that as our inspiration. And I had gotten a carnation, and I was very proud of it. I used it as a starter flower. And I talked about creating an office space as an admin, a young girl in New York, and you want to work your way up to the roses, but the carnation was this great starter flower. And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of thinking on your feet and coming up with different ways to, tell your story of design. And because it's really about the client, it's about their home and the inspiration. And for that particular moment, it was the carnation.
Did it launch your career?
It did. I'd had been in the business. I had just started my business in 2009. This was 2010. And it opened every door. I got partnerships. I did a great partnership with Rue La La, which they had launched local services. And because I had the Design Star and the HGTV credentials, I got to be a part of their launch. I was in magazines. I was on additional shows when the internet was taking off, and they'd have different She Knows, which is now a different media She group. I would do a lot of their segments. I had done Hotel Impossible. Like, because you had that byline, I could get in places that just put me in front of others, which was great.
And now, what type of company do you have?
I have an interior design company. I specialize in residential. I also do a little real estate. It's kind of more friends and family, where if I'm with you looking for your property, I give a percentage back to your design fee, but it really is custom residential interiors here, and very localized.
What's the difference between a designer and a decorator?
You know, I used to say it was an education, which is what, but somebody recently said to me, it's kind of a state of mind. It's where I approach it is very systematic. It really lies in the education and the systems that I was taught from day one. I think the decorating hat is that great finishing touches, or you have an eye for it. And I think those are the two things. The designer, you're really the liaison between the client and the GC, or the client and the builder, the client and the vendor. You're talking about the end goal, but you're really working the line items, the books, the vernacular, you're representing everybody.
All those details that make me crazy.
Yes.
So I can hire you and you'll just take care of it all.
Take care of it
And
all.
then you give me choices and then I pick.
Yeah.
Whole lot easier.
You know, it's funny. I worked for a designer in Miami.
Uh-huh.
I became the purchasing agent.
That is like one of the most critical roles.
Yes, but I didn't have the background. I just said, let me be your purchasing agent, and he hired me.
Good.
So I used to travel all over the place finding things. I used to go to those conventions, and they had different pieces, and I built a couple of places in Meisner. I never tell you that,
Scare
right?
me.
Well, a purchasing agent is literally like your second in command as a designer. You think it's like an assistant or a great, tradesman, but a purchasing agent knows all of the kind of questions to ask the vendors. They're the problem solvers that you need as your second person in command.
I gotta tell you, I got a little nervous booking you.
Why?
Because I don't even know how I found you, but next thing I know, I get this very proper email from her assistant, and I'm like, uh-oh.
You're in trouble.
And then I think I missed the phone call, and then I got another email from her assistant.
What's your problem?
Well, I don't understand. I thought we had a phone call, and I'm like, oh, God, this woman must think I'm crazy. And then I get this phone call when I went to the liquor store last week to get ready for Jingle Jam, and it was Stacy. I'm like, oh, my gosh, thank goodness she's really nice. And she said, I'm not sure if my assistant got it wrong. It's like, which is nice, instead of saying I messed up. She totally took the blame for it.
yeah, we sort of messed up a lot.
And then,
Okay.
well, she sees what we got going on. Today's a
Right.
calm day. So I was on the phone with Stacy at the liquor store, and then someone else clicked in, and then someone else clicked in, and then I lost Stacy, and then I called her back, and then I was on a phone call, and then we were checking VMix from our Thursday show, and I'm thinking, this woman must think I'm nuts.
Yeah.
Welcome
well,
to our
Well, you
world.
brought her in on a very quiet day.
That's because everyone's virtual, which is great.
And the Jingle Jam took all the juice out of us the last three days in the past. Yeah, what? And you can see he's walking around like an old man. There's a lot
But
of
I
music
love
and
what
stuff
you
on.
do, because what I'm being told, and my sister was teasing my parents live in Plantation. And my dad says, 5 houses on our street have just sold. It's the house I grew up with. So they're large family homes. He says, I think we're going to be the new most expensive zip code in all of the United States. So I
But what did they
very
sell for?
quietly, upwards of 800,000.
Really?
Yeah. So I sit very quietly and I shake my head. And my sister's an attorney. She's about all of 4'10" with her mouth. And she says, no, Dad, I really don't think we're going to be the new California. But thanks for playing. And she goes through this whole thing. He says, I don't understand. But all of these homes, all of a sudden, people are moving from California.
Yes.
People are moving from New York. And they're looking for these price point of houses from the mid-5s, almost 6s up.
Yeah.
Because whether they're second homes or these are now a better price home, they're not paying taxes like they would other places. And they're looking to redo them. Is this the market you're working with?
Yes, all day. Love them. This is that sweet spot. So it is all the things you said are dead on. The people from California, New York, they're coming, the taxes. And what it's nice is, I call them like the second generation homes. People have loved the houses, they've lived in the houses, they've raised families in the houses, they've had second homes in the houses, but they're dated. And the structure's there, the neighborhood's there, all the age, everything's there.
But the house is dated.
The house is dated. So we come in with a nice team, we renovate, we move a few walls around, we kind of update the kitchen space or the open concept space. We do the tile work, we take it to the next level. And then you get to live second generation, which is really the nice part of it. And you're getting that price point. Yes, you
Do
in the
you
back.
have,
Did you raise your hand?
Would you like to ask a question
yes,
now?
I would teach.
Please.
Do you have people who are looking from California to come live in a dated house that you can renovate and make it beautiful? You do.
I do.
I want to talk to you after the show,
Okay.
right?
That is really what people are looking to do, because as expensive as we think homes may be here, compared to New York, compared to California, and no taxes, and to raise a family in good schools and beautiful weather,
Yeah.
it's a deal.
It
It's
is
really a
deal.
seller's market.
But
from what
you
they say.
take care of multiple problems. What you just said
Uh-huh.
erases multiple problems when you try to sell a house,
Uh-huh.
a big house, 5,000 square feet,
Big.
that's dated,
Yep.
and the market is not buying things because you're looking in the wrong places.
Right.
With you, it gets repaired. You know, it makes you feel like after you sell it, why the hell did I sell it?
Well, there's a show like that, with the Property Brothers. They
Yeah.
either upgrade your home or you move, and it's always like
Where
back
they
and forth.
love it or list it.
Love it and list it. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a fun show, and you really get to see the potential. And then you go, I could keep this. But one of the big things that I do when you say, how do you do it, or what, there's always this like area that was used, I always say, like yesteryear, in the original kind of floor plan, whether it's an extra big foyer or there's a breakfast nook next to the dining. We're definitely losing one of the spaces to make another space bigger. And that's, I always say, there's a lot of math that goes into it. We really move the place around and modernize it and bring it into, the next 10 years, next 10, 15 years. So,
To raise another family.
But
My-
that's
Yeah.
definitely what's going on.
your house, my parents' house, we grew up in.
Yeah.
I've moved in that house when I was turning 5.
But I like old school.
It's
but
a very large
to sell
house,
it,
but
it's-
it needs updating.
right, it's nothing's wrong with the old houses.
I know, but it's dated. I know that the market is
Right.
looking, you get these kids coming from California who are spending a fortune living out there,
Right.
and they could do it for less here and still have. I mean, I live on a lake. I live with a pool looking at the lake.
A
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
view.
Well-
It's gorgeous.
Well, as a design plug, I've lived in New York and Chicago and Los Angeles. They all have different styles. So the California look that's coming this way is a little bit more earthy. There's a little bit more Malibu. Texture is woven. The blues are a little bit different versus, more of the east and the northern, a lot more gray, harder surfaces, shinier finishes. So you do have very different styles that are coming here, which then will kind of make a whole nother layer. It'll make it interesting versus having, in Florida when they did different neighborhoods, everything was Mediterranean,
Right.
because that's what our style is. But now you have people from California bringing, a softer coastal look in, or people from New York bringing a city look in. So now you're going to your friends' houses, and you have new neighbors, and you're all moving in at the same time. And that's when you make friends, when you all kind of move into a neighborhood at the same time. You go to each other's houses, and now there's this like fun diversity that's happening, which is really welcoming in Florida at this point, because it's like, wait, now you have different people and different styles and different influences,
I
which
love
is
when we talk about styles. I
fun.
look around this place, Freddie. If anyone described our style,
We got no style.
no style.
No stylist.
it's production chic.
It's production chic.
We didn't want it to give it the look of a warehouse.
It's not.
So we're trying to hide this. I still have a lot of hiding to do. Still looking for the big black curtain over there to
But
hide.
I love your vernacular, how you talk about different textures and colors
Yeah.
and designs, because when people are looking to buy a house or redo a house, you either love it or you hate to design. I'm one of those that do not like.
Okay.
So I'd say too many choices. It's like online shopping.
Right.
Like I was saying today, I bought a ton of brown clothes. I hate brown clothes, so I'm going to return them all.
Yeah, I don't
so I
blame
would
you.
like
Don't
design
be
my
lots of
house
brown
around it, and I'd want someone like you to say, all right, what colors do you want? What's your style? Here's 3 choices.
Yeah.
Because if you give me 50,000 choices, I'm going to bury myself in a spiral of, oh my gosh, should I even choose the wrong doorknob?
Right, and people do get down that rabbit hole, and it's not a good place to go, and there's some of the online resources have helped and some have harmed. So like I use Pinterest. I tout Pinterest all day. I love it. It's a great program because you can take the stuff and put it and then look at it again. And they did a good job with Pinterest. Just for pulling stuff and getting ideas so you don't buy the same thing 18 times.
Which is amazing. How do people get in contact with you?
My website, which is mosaicluxe.com, MOSAICLUXE.com. And then the phone, if you go to my website, right up at the top, there's a call to action button. You can text me. It comes right to my phone. You can call me. So it's local number 561-318-0180. And I am
You've got a
Stacey
great
Cohen.
radio voice.
And look out for her show, and look for her on radio. We're gonna put her, and then
Look for her on radio.
Look for me on radio. I got a good voice for
let me-
radio.
Hold on. I'm surprised you said that. Our
Where
radio,
are you?
all our radio shows you can see.
Oh, can you explain that a little bit more?
Because everything we do is video. All the studios at the radio station have video, so
Yes.
look for us. We are the only radio you can see, and that's part of our gimmick with them.
So I'm excited to be working with Stacey on that as
It
well.
could be a whole lot of fun. Stacey
it-
could bring in a lot of people and grill them.
It's season, you know what, it's time. This is the time. You always say this is our Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl on a good year, and it's coming out into 2021. This is everyone's Super Bowl. You got from January now until summer to push and to grow. Forget the pivot now. It's time to push, and let's do this.
And it's nice to have somebody who gives you a chance to sell your property. Look at your parents. How long have they been trying? So now you have a chance. If the property is there and you can have somebody come in and sell the dream to a
Yep.
buyer, man, you're talking about changing the game.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We've got Sarah Walsh joining us from Alpert Jewish Family Services Domestic Abuse Program. Not a pretty topic, but certainly during the holiday season, a timely topic to discuss. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke? If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I love that
I got my pop-up shirt.
I love the
Why do
pop-up
you
shirt.
put this thing with the acorns hanging out on this side? You're hurting me
shirt. Why?
because I keep hitting it.
A poinsettia.
Look, I'm more pointed.
Welcome back to the Brooklyn Café Show. Wow, it is the Tuesday before Christmas, and we've had a lot of fun. We've done great music segments and Jingle Jam, and we've got a chef coming in. But like we talked when we first went into this pandemic, people being in quarantine isn't always easy. And
True
for
that.
those that are suffering from domestic abuse, whether it be physical, emotional, sexual, when you're home with somebody in your space and you don't have that way out, you don't have that way out. And I wanted to bring this subject forward. And it's not an easy subject, and people wonder why now? Why now? Because again, kids are home from school, people are off of work, and they are now home in a situation that may not be the most ideal situation, and for whatever reason, they still stay in a situation. So I wanted to bring over Sarah Walsh, and Sarah comes to us from one of our other shows, Kids in Capes, from Amy Trujillo, who works very closely with Alpert Jewish Family Services, their domestic abuse program. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And I was telling people we were having you on the show, and they went, well, what a segue. There is absolutely no good segue to this topic. So we're just going to say there's no good segue, and here it is. But it's a topic that we must address, especially now at the end of 9 months of people being in quarantine and going into the holiday season, which is hard on any year. So welcome to our show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. We have found that, especially during the pandemic, we've had a lot of stress for those people who cannot go out now. If I could just spend a few minutes talking about when the pandemic first started, one of my first initial thoughts was, oh my goodness, all the victims are not going to be able to leave their homes. You know, when they did the shelter in place orders, that's been very, very difficult. The National Domestic Abuse Hotline had an increase of calls by about 9%, but 50% of those calls, the people calling identified COVID as a main reason that they were reaching out for help.
Well, so it totally changed because you can't, you know, I've seen so many things that it says on social media. People are saying, I want to buy a lipstick, and that was a code word for please get me help. Or, you know, can you help my dog? And that was a code word for please send help, because
it was pizza, or I want to order a pizza.
Can you turn your volume down a little bit on your computer?
Absolutely. Let me just do that.
I'm going like this. I have like the volume button with my finger.
Are you doing this?
Is that
Like
better?
this, right? Yeah, let's see how that goes. Or pizza, right? Because there was no out. Women or men that
It's
went to work.
hard for me to hear you. Okay, go ahead.
They didn't have an out, so there were code words.
Well, one of the things, I think there was actually a television show about this, and I'm going to unplug my, is that better? Can you hear me better without the echo?
That's worse, actually. All right, let's try this again.
Okay, sorry about that. One of the networks showed a commercial where a woman called 911, but instead of saying, yes, I need help at my home, she was saying, I'd like to order a pizza. And then the operator would say, well, this is 911, do you have an emergency? And she would say, yes, I want pepperoni.
And he just gave me
And
chills.
that was a way for her to say, you know, I need help, I need someone to come to my home.
So tell me, what
The
does
one thing that
Kalot do?
So Kalot is the Hebrew word for voices, and this is a committee that we have at the agency, which their sole purpose is to raise awareness that domestic abuse happens in the Jewish community and at large as well, and that we are here as an agency to help. So Kalot co-chairs are Karen Berkner and Carol Shubs, and we, as well as the committee members, will have different events throughout the year to raise awareness about domestic abuse.
And you say raise awareness.
It's not a topic people want to talk about, Dawn.
Well,
I mean,
that's
people
what I
don't
want
want
to talk about,
it.
raise awareness. You think of domestic abuse as my spouse, husband or wife, because I know men are abused as well, physically beats me, but it's not always physical abuse.
Not at all. Actually, of the most common form of abuse is verbal and emotional, which can cause even more damage than, let's say, a bruise, because that emotional abuse and verbal abuse over years or months or years can cause such problems with the person's self-esteem and self-worth.
How can you help with that, and how do you help identify that? Because maybe people think this is just the way my spouse is. This is what I married into.
Well, yes, and it's not always in a marriage situation. I mean, many people are domestic partners or just intimate partners and don't live together. What we do at the agency is we have a teen dating abuse and bullying prevention program, and we recruit teens from the community, high schoolers, and teach them about what is a healthy relationship, what isn't, what are the different forms of emotional abuse, what does that look like? And then they do workshops to other teens in order to help educate our youth about, you know, what can you expect from your relationship and what you should not accept in your relationship.
It's really interesting because you think we're starting a teenpreneur show as teens in business. And I feel like this is the forgotten era. Right, we've got kids and we're all parents and we're raising our kids, and then we've got our kids in college and they're young adults. But this teenage years that we say, they're just teens, they're gonna get over this. But these are critical years that they form these relationships, and sometimes the abuse passes from generation to generation, and that's all you know, so that becomes normal.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because, yes, many people who are in abusive relationships and don't recognize it or don't get out is because, you know, they've been used to seeing this as they grew up. So maybe they were raised in a family where abuse was normalized. Getting back to the teen issue is this is not taught in school. We're not taught what's healthy and what isn't. We're not taught that, for example, if your partner keeps on criticizing you and judging you and tells you that your friends are stupid and that how you dress is bad and constantly beats you down, maybe you don't realize that that's abuse. Maybe you think, yeah, you know what, I do need to change. I don't dress very well and my friends are really horrible. Okay, so it's especially as a teen, when you don't have that self-esteem that age can bring, you get very confused by this.
And how do the teens find you, or how do you identify the teens? Because I would think it would be the last thing that they're looking to do on some spare time.
Well, they earn community service credits while they're doing it. And to be quite honest, many parents want their kids in this program,
It's a great program.
because, yeah, so usually in ninth grade, if they're forced to be in the program, they don't want to be there, but by 12th grade, they're totally on board and so grateful that they did. And I think that, you know, as far as Colote is concerned, we really want the community to know that, you know, it's okay to admit that maybe you're having a problem in your relationship and get some education. Part of what I do at Jewish Family Service is that I see clients, and I have women and men who would join, who would meet with me, and some of them are at the beginning of their journey where they may not even realize they're being abused, but they know something's wrong. And then we would be able to help educate them. Or they meet with me and they say, Sarah, I've been abused for 20 years and I'm ready to leave, and help me do that.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's interesting because when I was in auxiliary, we got a lot of phone calls for domestic violence. And we used to go to police officers because we were not cops. And the problem that I saw, I mean, that whole mess, whether or not she really wanted to have him arrested, I mean, it was just craziness over here. But I looked at the kids, and all of a sudden,
Yes.
the males in that whole episode thought that it was okay to grow up and be just like that. And that was a problem. And that was one of the reasons that I got involved for being an auxiliary, is to educate the male side of that deal, because, you know, hate is taught. Anger is taught. Being a bully to whoever is taught. It's not something you're born with. But this is bringing back flashbacks to some of the incidents that I had to walk into, which were really, really bad. I mean, I'm talking about black eyes, broken noses. I'm talking about, I walked into a situation where she was pregnant and he was beating her with a bat, and the police officers that came in, I'm gonna tell you, you don't mess with New York City cops.
That's the physical side. That's the side that somebody
But
sees.
it led up to the other side
the
you don't
emotional
see.
side is what you
And the
don't
kids
see.
Absolutely.
buy into that Kool-Aid.
Well, you bring up so many different interesting things to talk about, Freddie. First of all, pregnant women are at very, very high risk for abuse. Usually when a woman is pregnant or right after she gives birth, incidences of abuse increase, physical, mental, emotional, verbal. What I found in working in this field is that children who grow up with this in the home either go one of two ways. So either they become abusers themselves, or they become very, very passive and try to avoid conflict in their relationships and could very possibly be the victim of abuse themselves. The other thing I found is that typically, let's say, if a woman's being abused by their husband or their partner and they have children, the woman will assume that those kids are going to side with them, so to speak, because they've been the victim. But many times those children end up being so angry at their mother because their mother didn't protect them and didn't leave. And yeah, so it's a very interesting dynamic, and many different things can occur. But the reality is that, Freddie, what you were saying is that it's really very scary, and it can be very, very serious.
It is. I'm gonna tell you, I went to NYU when I was going through all of this, and it changed the way I looked at life. That's why I'm so close to my sister. You know, I don't want nobody touching my sister. Nobody touched my mother. Nobody touches even my kids in the studio. Nobody, because the abuse that I had to endure, that I saw, it just changed my whole life. I was an auxiliary for 3 years, and I'm gonna tell you, life is not always pretty. I tell you, and when it's
That is
ugly,
true.
it gets ugly real quick. Real quick.
Well, Freddie, can you imagine living in a home like that for 10 years? How
I cannot.
absolutely damaged
I
the
would pick
victims
them
are.
up and move them out. I'm gonna tell you, and then they had to deal with me because
But there are people, and I want to ask you about that, women or men that say, you know what, Sarah, I can't do this anymore, but I don't have the money. I've got kids I need to take with me. Can you help me? And do I have to be Jewish for you to help me?
No, our program serves all. We are, as a matter of fact, we have a support group that is running now for everyone in the community. It's called Women in High Conflict Relationships. Now, we will start a men's group if we start getting calls from men who are being abused and want a group. We're absolutely on board with that. But right now, we're offering a group for women. It's Thursdays at 5:30. And that's open to, of course, everyone. And anyone who needs help with domestic abuse, please call our agency.
And what if they need to get out? They just, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's New Year's, and you just can't take another verbal abuse. You can't take another physical hit. Do you have a safe place for them to shelter? Or can you refer
Our
them to?
agency does not have a shelter, but there are 2 local shelters that we partner with. YWCA Harmony House is one, and then ABDA in Delray is another, and they have a shelter for women who are being abused. And I have sent several clients to the YWCA, and I've also worked closely with ABDA, and they're wonderful organizations. I will admit that the resources are not great, which makes it more difficult for women to leave, but they are out there if you really need them.
And the bottom line is they may not be perfect, but they're probably better than the relationship that you're in. There is a safe place to land.
it takes the first day
Yes.
to do this. You know, in the Bronx, I built a safe house. It was 4 apartments, and I gave it away to a organization in Long Island. But these had safe buttons where you hit the apartments locked up. There were safe rooms. It was really, really modern. And I used 501c3 funds. I used my 501c3 and I used FHA funds to build it. And it was right next to a precinct. We couldn't tell anybody the address or anything else.
Right.
And my goodness gracious, we got that thing built and it was full. In 24 hours, it was packed.
Now, part of the reason I think maybe you did coaching was because of some of the things you saw. Some of these boys needed.
21 years. I did coaching.
That's amazing.
To teach kids about home life. And they used to bring them to me, and we used to have, and I used to talk to dads. I'm going to tell you something. It got ugly. it got real ugly. I used to talk to dads, and I used to say, listen, I'm hearing it from him or her, because I coach girls too. And we either going to change our environment or we're going to change our environment. There's really no choice. And they got really hairy. And I am proud to say I put a lot of kids through college. I got them there. A lot of marriages, they worked it out. And they saw the problems. You know, sometimes you get wrapped up in life and you don't realize you're being abusive to the significant other you're with, wife, girlfriend, or whatever. You just got to wake up. You know, you gotta focus. You know, I'm always saying you got to focus.
And I love the teen program that you're doing, and I don't know if any of them would be willing to be on air just to talk about it, and we can not even have their faces on. But I'm thinking
They would love to.
You know, and being sensitive to whether it's a female or male is you guys, Slick, Teddy, and Val. One of you guys would interview them because I think it's really important.
We could do a dark out. Oh, we never done a dark out. You ever done a dark out?
I think we might have scheduled
hide
this.
identities.
But yes, I think that's really important. The one thing I just want to add, if I could, that men are abused as well.
Yes,
the
they are.
national statistics show that 1 out of 4
Every day.
women will be abused in her lifetime in a relationship, and the statistic for men is 1 in 9 men. But I really believe that that's underreported statistic, because men do not come forward
No, they
and
don't.
say, I'm being abused. So I
I'm
think
being
that
beat
comes
up on my
much
wife.
higher.
Not happen.
And a lot of it is probably emotional. On
Absolutely.
the men. You know, you don't provide enough, you don't do enough, you're terrible, whatever it is.
You're a loser. Yeah.
And a lot of that's emotional. And as a man, would you ever report something like that?
Me? No.
Why?
Because
It's
you're
not
supposed to be a
macho?
man. You know, men leave. Do you ever wonder why men leave? Men say, I'm going to the store to get some milk. I'll see you in about 27 years. Men leave.
But not if you've got kids, you don't.
Men leave.
Women
Okay? That's why now they have, you know, when you go through a tow zone and they zoom your plate, if your back child support ain't there, baby, they're coming to see you. They got a way to catch you now.
don't. But I'm so glad, Sarah, that people can call you. They can call Colote. What's the best way to get in touch with either you or the program?
It would be to call the agency 561-684-1991 and tell them that you need help, and they will get you in touch with me.
And the most important
And thank
thing
you for allowing us to talk about Colote.
Thank
And
you
if
for
anyone
coming.
wants to become a member of Colote, you can call that same number.
Well, let me ask you, what does it mean to be a member?
Well, it's a committee, then we meet every month, and we're meeting Zoom at this point. And our goal is to raise awareness about domestic abuse in the Jewish community in particular, but also at large. So we really just are looking for people who are passionate about this and who want to make a difference.
I know just the right person. She was in here yesterday.
Yeah, we have a candidate. We're gonna talk to her, and we're gonna bring you on, and we're gonna try to take this in a different direction. Maybe to let people know that your services are available, and you know, people have to
Yes.
get that whole trust thing that we talked about today with our guests in studio. It's all about the trust. It's about being able to communicate and talk and feel that you're in a safe place, because everybody wants to feel safe.
Absolutely, and we really do provide that, and especially with this group that I mentioned, Women in High Conflict Relationship Group, it's a wonderful, supportive environment for women who need that.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Sarah Walsh, Alpert Jewish Family Services. The most important thing to remember is you do not have to be Jewish, and just make that phone call. There are resources. We always say no one should ever suffer in silence. Man, woman, or child, or teen, reach out to them. You can give them a call, or you can email them, and we're more than happy to get you that information. Sarah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Sarah.
You too, bye-bye.
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 Wow. There's just no good segue to that, but it's an important topic to
It's
cover.
something that we have to cover.
You just have to, we share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And hopefully we have more of the good.
A lot
than-
of memories. A lot of memories. I'm going to tell you, you stirred up a whole lot of memories on this piece. Anyway.
So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Sylvia Farbstein is joining us with an incredible story of perseverance, of being a mom, a mompreneur, a mom in business. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting Café to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
Kids for Kids Ministry. The vision is to see children in Haiti emerge from extreme poverty into an extraordinary destiny in Christ. The problem is the orphans in Haiti lack clean water to drink and food sustainability. These children need art-integrated education, medical needs, shoes, clothes, a lunch program, and teacher salary aid. The mission is to sponsor local leaders in Haiti to support them in the care of orphans and vulnerable children. In January of 2020, Kids for Kids traveled to Haiti to visit the orphans at their home and at their school. The school has now grown to 30 children attending daily classes, but there are many things to improve upon. To help us or to donate, contact Patty Paget at Kids for Kids Ministry, 561-876-1710. That's Kids for Kids Ministry at 561-876-1710.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But we never throw you out. We always tell you to stay. This gentleman here he's a magician. Merlin the magician over there.
Chef Mark Fiore in the house making a little bit of a holiday lunch for us. Yesterday we had libations and appetizers, and today we get lunch. Libations. How do you like that word?
I know, she's phenomenal.
And now she's got 2 for 1 Ritz.
Every day, no?
No, Mark, don't be. Hey, Mark.
It's 5 o'clock
Mark,
in England.
Mark, don't be putting my laundry on the street.
All right, we should do a segment, Daily Libations. How you like that?
I don't even know what that
Stacey's
means.
like, we're in. I like that. You like that? So a lot
Stacey,
more
there's a
coming up.
lot of stuff that goes on. There's food, there's drink, there's wine, there's all sorts of things going on.
Really? one of the amazing things that we get to do is we get to do so many amazing guests virtually that not everyone now has to be in studio. That keeps everybody safe, socially distanced. Our next guest, Sylvia Farbstein, Speak Beyond Words. I have never met her in person, and she is the business manager for her son, Brandon Farbstein, which is really interesting. I'm going to let Sylvia share her story, but another one of my people, I just want to say Happy Hanukkah, Sylvia.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Happy Hanukkah.
Val, I think you have her name spelt wrong. I think you have an E instead of an R. I'm sorry, she says.
Don't worry, she's Puerto Rican. There's an F in elephant.
I'm thinking the E is next to the R in the keyboard. Sylvia, I'm so excited. I spoke to Sylvia at length, I don't even know, months ago, and she said, I might be moving to Florida with my son. I'll call you. I said, I've got all these resources for you. And then I said, you know what? I know your son is an incredible motivational speaker, Brandon is, but I really wanted to talk to you about what it's like on so many levels to be who you are and his manager and as a mom to go through your story.
Absolutely. So first of all, I want to say, Freddie, I too went to NYU, so we've got that in common.
Really? Where'd you go, to Washington Square?
I graduated from the Stern School of Business, so 1989.
I know exactly. I graduated in 84. Remember when we used to graduate, it was at the fountain?
Yeah, Washington Square Park, and it was the most amazing school. And one of the dorms was literally on Fifth Avenue. So as a freshman through my senior year, I had a Fifth Avenue address, which most people can't say that going to college, but
wow.
What an amazing experience.
That's pretty nice.
And do you know that I went to play for the Violets? I went to play baseball, and they didn't have a team.
Did you?
Yeah, they didn't have a team.
Who are the Violets?
NYU Violets. And I said, Coach, I'm here, ready to play. He says, we don't have a team. True story.
That's hysterical.
So
I can't believe they didn't create one just for you.
No, they didn't.
You never know. Maybe now they have one.
If you put the money in, they'll do it.
You should do it.
No, it's too late.
Sylvia, tell us about you and your story, which is just fascinating. And then I want to talk about Brandon as well, because so much of your story revolves around him.
Absolutely. So just to segue, I graduated from NYU with a finance degree, was in the financial services world, living it up in New York City, and one day met my husband on a blind date. And ironically enough, I was blind date number 95 for Steve Farbstein.
He kept numbers?
So
Who keeps numbers?
You know what? He didn't until after the fact. We got married, and you know how it is, like you're newlyweds, you want to clean out like all the old and make room for the new. So we came across this black address book that he had. And I said, you don't need that anymore. And before he threw it out, he literally counted.
1, 2. Oh my God.
And it was the wildest thing, because I, as a finance major, was like very meticulous about, everything being step by step. And what I realized in meeting him and that journey is that there are so many unpredictable zigs and zags in life. So we got married. I moved from New York City to Richmond, Virginia. Never thought I'd leave New York, let alone end up in a place like Richmond. But I embraced it with all my heart, and ended up working full time, gave birth to 2 kids. And my son, Brandon, I took him on his 2-year checkup. Everything seemed okay. The doctor said, oh, he looks great, take him home. And I said, you know what? My gut tells me otherwise. I feel like my daughter, who's 2.5 years older, at this age was changing sizes every few months, and that's not the case with him. And if you take a close look, it just looks like his torso is growing in length, but his limbs are shorter. And so the doctor said, you know what? Let me take a second look at him. And right away, he sent us to a renowned geneticist. And we went from there to getting full skeletal x-rays, which all these medical professionals looked at, and they knew they were looking at something different, but they had no idea what it was. So they sent those x-rays to the UCLA Skeletal Dysplasia Registry. And 6 months later, they came back with a diagnosis of metatropic dysplasia, which is a very rare form of dwarfism. I don't know if you knew this, but there are hundreds of different types of dwarfism. And this one is so rare that there are less than 100 medically documented cases.
Wow.
So for us to get this diagnosis, for me being someone who was totally type A and thought I had life spelled out and knew how I needed to climb the corporate ladder and get from point A to point B, it all went out the window. And my husband and I decided pretty early on, the only thing we have control of, because there was absolutely no blueprint and no answers that doctors could give us, the only thing we could control is how we raised him. And we raised him just like we raised our daughter, Brooke, to live the best life that he could live. So Brandon is now 21 years old and stands just under 4 feet tall, which is basically the average height of a 6 or 7-year-old. So his perspective in life is quite unique, and the journey has been filled with so much adversity, so many challenges, so many obstacles, and yet we have worked so hard to transform that into fuel that has created the most unbelievable opportunities.
Well, tell me about what Brandon is doing now. And it hasn't always been, he was diagnosed, we raised him, and life has been great. You've had some little obstacles. I'll give you a call. Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah.
Tell us what that was like, because I think part of that story is how you are now where you are.
Absolutely. So just so everyone understands, Brandon suffered from depression starting at age 10 and actually wanted to take his life when he was 11. So yes, we've gone through tremendous pain and suffering, not just because he is short, but because he was feeling like he wasn't seen, he wasn't heard, he didn't know why he was here in the body that he was in. And the reason I share that is because it took us 6 different counselors and therapists to find the right one to work with him. So thank goodness early on we showed him the beauty of getting professional help. And so he got that help. He started acting as a child and really started developing his voice. And at the age of 15, was chosen to give a TEDx talk.
At 15?
And that talk was at 15.
Wow.
And that talk was due to a random meeting that we had a few months later. Our family was actually in the Richmond airport on the way to Florida to visit my grandmother. And he was riding his mobility device, which is a mini Segway. And this woman started talking to him and she wouldn't leave him alone. And we were used to people being curious, but this was just an individual that wouldn't let up. And she ended up being on our flight. Well, it turns out that not only did they connect in such a beautiful way, but formed an incredible relationship. And she ends up being one of the originators of TEDx. So that is like a huge life lesson that he and I have held on to. Don't negate those random meetings of people that you might meet either in person or online, because when you connect with someone on a deep, meaningful level, you just never know what paths that opens up. And so in his case, he ends up giving a talk in front of 1,600 people and realizes that day the purpose of his life. And that is to connect with audiences by sharing his story, by sharing his life lessons. Although he was at such a young age, he was an old soul who really was able to not only observe life, but kind of formulate his own philosophies. So that TED Talk led to his strong desire to one day become a professional speaker. He assumed that he would first need to graduate high school and go off to college, but as life would have it, 2 years later, he was so severely cyberbullied by his high school peers that we had to pull him out. And He completed that year online, was totally isolated and lost until he realized, a month into the process, that he could hack the system. And that was, he did all of his work at night, freed up his days, and then I started a professional speaking career, although I'm 17 years old and not yet graduated high school. And so he connected with a professional networking group. Listen, I gave a TED Talk a couple of years ago. I'd love to serve your audiences. Will you let me come in and speak at your different meetings? And that was the first step for him to start his career, because every time he spoke and connected with audiences, that led to a bigger and bigger opportunity. One of those opportunities took us to Tony Robbins, and we were guests of Tony's at his 3.5-day Unleash the Power Within event, where Brandon and I each walked on fire along with 10,000 other people that were there. And that was our plunge into the world of personal development. And we realized the power of digging deep within, excavating our pains and struggles, dealing with them, and figuring out what our inner gifts were. So
but I want to ask you, as
it's
a
so
mom,
ironic. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, because Brandon's story is spectacular in its own right. And he wouldn't be where he is clearly without the family support that he has from you and your husband and your daughter. But as a mom, we talked about this. We do so much women empowerment. I always think that 48 seems to be like a pivotal change for a lot of the women that we've had. I don't know as a whole, but at least the women that I've brought forward are always at 48, 49, not even 50, changing moments. And you and I even spoke about the same thing. We're about the same age. And this was this pivotal time for us. Here you are as a mom, and you've got a kid who's now been diagnosed with something very rare, and you know you have to raise them, and the bullying, and what it's like as a mom in general. But what has it been like for you, and now to manage his career, and what has it done for you as a woman? Not as a wife or a mom, but for you.
It really has opened my mind up to embrace the unknown and uncertainty through a lens of curiosity and excitement. And it has made me realize that I've got enough resilience, resourcefulness, and adaptability to reinvent myself as need be. So when Brandon became the youngest member of the National Speakers Association at the age of 18 and hired me as his manager, I knew nothing about the speaking business, but I plunged right in and said, okay, we're going to learn this together. And I have really learned to rely on myself and not hold myself back by, you're not good enough, you're not seasoned enough, you're not experienced enough. Because at the end of the day, we all have done such hard things in life, but not all of us take the time to step back and think about all the lessons and all the remarkable qualities that we have developed along the way. And raising a child with a rare medical condition, for me, has enabled me to realize that we can't live our life into our limitations. We've got to navigate around our limitations. And because of that, I really have developed a mindset of limitless opportunities. And I feel like as women, we are not too old, too young, too skinny, too fat to do anything at any time. So I'm really excited about that. And that is my passion, to share the journey and for other women to understand that no matter what season you are in at life, you are able to embrace new adventures and have life go in directions you never even dreamed of.
Have you written a book yet?
No, and you are like the sixth person to tell me in the last couple of weeks. I feel like I have it in me.
I definitely think you have it in you, and I would be honored if you would let us share it when it comes out, because as a mom, a Jewish mom, the same age, knowing what it's like to raise kids in a society where it's not always kind, you have succeeded, and more importantly, as a mom, your son has succeeded. And it is that generation that all we can give, right, is to only hope that our kids are happier than we ever were, and that he has come from maybe a diagnosis that many would not come from the ashes, and he has become a speaker and inspired so many.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable journey, and it's an ongoing one because, as you know, the older our kids get, the bigger the problems get and the bigger the issues that we may face. And parenting is certainly a limitless job in terms of, you know, our worries never go away.
Remember when an ear infection used to be the biggest problem? Right? Oh my God. You remember your kids always had ear infections. And an ear infection was the big, here we go again. And now you look, right? You get a diagnosis, or they don't pass their exam for whatever their career is going to be, or someone doesn't have a significant other. And every one of those things takes a little bit more out of you as a parent. They don't realize what it does, but it does.
I agree with you 100%. But if this year has taught us anything, it is that we're all still here. Amen. You know, we've all been able to make it through a pandemic that is ongoing, that really has no end date, and we're all still here. We're showing up. So I feel like we owe it to our kids to not rely on them providing our happiness or our identity. And instead, once we reach the wonderful empty nest phase, figure out who you are and what lights you up, what ignites your soul, and do something with that energy because the world really needs it. And truthfully, our kids will be happier when we are kind of standing proud in our own accomplishments. And that gives them the greatest gift, right? To have a parent who is thriving and doesn't see themselves as a washed out, you know,
that is so
old
true. I mean,
soul,
your son created
right?
this platform for us, and look at the studio we now sit in.
Mm-hmm. It's true that. True that.
I love that.
It's a remarkable story, and it's funny because it's something that he will learn to teach what he does to his kids and everything else, and it becomes a legacy. It's funny how a legacy comes about when you least expect it.
You least expect it. And Aaron, my son, says, "Mama, I'm so proud of you. Who would ever thunk it?" He says. He teases me that you would do this. He said, "But I am so proud," he said, "and that you're happy."
That's the key.
That is the key.
That's right. That is the key.
It's so true. It's so true. And instead of being worried about kids missing out on all the experiences that they missed out on this year, what if parents just embrace what is and use this as a time to learn new things, read new things, and just get excited about things? I think that will make such a shift in our youth's anxiety and stress, because a lot of times parents are just focused on, you've got to get those straight A's and you've got to get into this college in order to get this career, to find success in life. But you know what? What I have found out in meeting some extraordinary people as we've traveled all over the country for all of these speaking engagements that he does, is that there's no guarantee, even if you follow that path, it doesn't mean you're going to be a fulfilled, happy, successful person. So I truly feel that as parents, we should guide and we should support, but we don't need to dictate their journey. And it's time to not only think outside of the box, let's just throw that box out and really, you know, support them in discovering new things about themselves, about the world, and how they can truly make an impact. And you don't need a stage to make an impact, obviously.
Sylvia, thank you so much for sharing your story. More to come for sure. I mean, you need a book, you need a show, you need so many things to embrace who you are as a mom, as a wife, but most importantly, as a woman, and what you've done and created. It's never too late. You know, I started this with you at 48, and so many people say, yeah, that seems to be. We had Dr. Laura on. She goes, yep, that seems to be the age. You know, growing up, my dad, you know, men always went through their midlife crisis. It's not a crisis. It's stepping into your power and going, you know what? We got to do me. I know, always look up.
A midlife crisis. Huh?
Did you ever hear that?
No.
Are you going through yours yet?
No.
I think you're going to live longer than me. Because I maybe not. I may drive you crazy enough. Sylvia, thank you so much for joining us. One day I would love to meet Brandon as well.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Do you have a website or how people can find you if they want to reach out to you?
Absolutely. On Facebook and Instagram, Speak Beyond Words with Sylvia Farbstein. That is the best way to connect. I'm also on LinkedIn. And definitely check out Brandon's platform. BrandonFarbstein.com is the website. And he puts out amazing content on Instagram, and his handle is @Farbstein. And his book, 10 Feet Tall, which is right in back of me, is available on Amazon.
Truly inspiring story. I think it's going to be Sylvia Farbstein, number 95 is the name of your book.
I love it. That's great.
Have a great day. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy New Year, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye. All right, let's go to commercial break. We're going to get ready for Chef Mark.
We have Chef Mark waiting.
And maybe we can pass some food over to Wayne Henry.
Oh, Wayne.
Through the TV.
Wayne's on the line.
Smell-O-Vision is coming to you.
Smell-O-Vision, scratch and sniff, baby.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We've got Chef Mark Fury in the house making some holiday. What are we making?
Gyros.
Gyros, all right. Slick, I hope you're hungry for lunch.
He's always hungry.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Friends of Spoon and Alley Fun, Kids and Capes. Tune in Saturday mornings on the Brooklyn Café Kids Television Network at 10 o'clock, where we share fun and ideas. And remember, peace, love, and kindness.
Hugs and smiles, blow a kiss to everyone you miss. Hugs and smiles will make the world a better place, and heals the heart with a smile on your face.
Hugs and Smiles Foundation was formed on the basis of giving kids the opportunity to learn and grow with art and music. Our classes are made for kids to express themselves in an open and free environment. If you want to donate or help run the class, contact Tina Weiss at 954-501-0524 or at tina@hugsandsmiles.org. All the memorabilia sold at the Brooklyn Café goes right back to the foundation to help Hugs and Smiles keep going. If you want to purchase a piece of art or memorabilia, contact Tina Weiss at 954-501-0524 or at tina@hugsandsmiles.org.
Garden dance and holding hands, we could take a stand. And with a smile, you make my dreams come true. Then all I need is a hug, a smile from you and you.
Are your health issues stopping you from living the life you've imagined? Are you unable to do the things you want to do due to chronic pain or chronic health issues? Have you seen many doctors, taken multiple medications, but are still suffering? Or are you simply looking for ways to boost your immune system and live a long and healthy life? Total Holistic Center is the solution you've been looking for. We provide you with out-of-the-box, cutting-edge scientific technologies for true health, wellness, and anti-aging via phone, in-person, or virtual video consultations. Some of our services include total wellness consultations, where we dig deeper into underlying root causes of chronic health issues, and personalized 360 wellness protocols customized specifically just for you based on your individualized biomarkers. Visit us at www.totalholisticcenter.com or call us at 561-323-4994. Amp Media Productions and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They've been working around the clock, nonstop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it's never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
We're going to glance at the pan. I got to tell you, it's kind of nice being in the whole holiday season, the gift of giving. We had a busy day.
You're nuts.
I got to tell you, I'm tired.
You're nuts. That's all I got to say.
Do you know that yesterday we did 7 shows between the hours of 9 and 2?
Yesterday. All
7
my
shows.
troubles seem so far.
Yeah, what happened to that?
That was President Trump's song.
And today, I've ascended. I just want you to understand.
You've ascended.
Did you not see the?
There's descend and ascend.
I've ascended into the Christmas star.
Chuck, I want to thank you very much for sending your crazy care package.
We've got Chef Mark Fiore in the house. We've had a great show lined up.
Now, this is the only chef I've ever seen in my life. He has 2 burners, and he walks around the table to turn each one on, instead of having them face at him.
Well, this way they fit on the table. It's a triangle table. Now work with what you got.
You want a bigger table? I'll get you a bigger table.
I got a bigger table in the truck too, but I don't need it.
Okay.
Let us know when Wayne comes on, because I know Wayne, Wayne always needs to be part of our food segment, which we've moved our food segment to today.
He went to, where did he go, Georgia? And he says, if you're doing food, I want to be on the show.
Always. Wayne Henry, absolutely.
Is he on there? Is he on there? Somewhere?
Wayne. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to start cooking these.
Slick.
All right, so hold on. What are we doing, Chef? What are we cooking?
Today we've got some gyros. So we got some pre-cooked gyro meat that was we pre-cooked, we sliced
Watch
it.
his feet.
And now we're just gonna put a quick saute on it. And then we have nice pitas here, tzatziki sauce. We have tomatoes, cucumbers, red onion, and then a little potato sticks.
Wayne, are you frozen or are you just smiling?
Yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I think I fell asleep.
Chef is cooking.
Hey, I can smell it from here.
Hey, Wayne, we're going to do the... What the hell is that?
Look at your puppy.
Is that
my
a
puppy.
dog?
That's my puppy, yeah. He needs a haircut.
Where are you?
We are in St. Simons, Georgia. So it's about an hour south of Savannah. It's one of the it's the largest, barrier island. It's quite picturesque. It's, they say it's about the physical size of Manhattan with about 14,500 people. So it's quite idyllic, small little town, very peaceful.
You
so
go
we're
there
here just by ourselves.
You go there every year?
No, we've never been here ever before. So we just thought we'd take some time, go be somewhere else alone. So we didn't go to visit anyone. Just yeah. So we're just kind of doing Christmas in a different location. So just seeing something new. It's quite fun. So we're gonna go up to Savannah next week, explore up there, just a little bit of time away.
But look, it's all decorated. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we brought it all ourselves.
Did you really?
Staying our own little place. We've rented a townhouse. The water's just there. Beautiful lighthouse. Really nice little town.
Wayne, I have to thank you for being so kind to my parents and helping them out because.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, well, you say that easily, and I know these, a lot of, you work with all age groups, but I know a lot of the age groups you work with are our parents' age, our age, and you make the conversation so easy for them to have, and the information that you had shared with us, because they're looking at changing some crypts and some things and different pricing, and I said, well, Wayne told me that pricing goes up about 30% every 10 years. So they gave me the price for what they need, and then they showed me what they had, and I'm like, all right, well, that's about 12 years, so that would be about a 30% increase. My mom says, how do you know this? I said, because Wayne Henry from Dignity Memorial is on my show every Friday, and he shares this information, but because she's affiliated with us, as all our viewers and listeners are, they get a 10% discount. She thought Debbie was kidding her. She says, because you know Dawn and Freddie, you get a 10% discount. My mom goes, what do you mean, because I know Dawn and Freddie? So thank you for working with them. Whatever happens, you have been so kind to them, and Debbie has been so nice to them.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of great colleagues, so I just made some phone calls, and I said, look, it's some VIPs here, so let's make sure we do all that we can to accommodate their wishes. So I know that they didn't have what she wanted to purchase before, but they're great brick and ground at Menorah Gardens, building a new crypt. So they wanted to get in there and make sure they got them this time. So just made a few phone calls, made sure that we made that as smooth as possible for them.
And you really made it so easy. And I know you talk about it all the time with your parents after the fact, unfortunately. Yes. And here we are talking about it, thankfully, before they need it. But that's why working with you, Wayne, and Dignity is so amazing on all levels, whether it be after the fact in Puerto Rico during a hurricane or before the fact and doing pre-need and pre-planning. You guys make it so easy and so nice. Even their aide said, I've never seen anyone happy buying mausoleum plots. Why are you happy? And my mom said, you know why? Because one, I have to do it. Two, I want to do it. And three, they're so nice and make it so easy that I don't have to leave my home. I can do all this by phone. And they're walking me through the steps.
Well, I think you need to thank them because I've looked through and they have pre-planned absolutely everything. So they've got it all in place for you. So when the time does come, it's going to be very easy for you and your other family members. Just give us a call and we'll take care of everything. And there's going to be absolutely nothing to pay. So that's been we say it's the biggest gift you can give your family. If you think about the alternative, I think you can see that that's going to be very important for you when the time comes. Unfortunately, we don't know when it's going to be, but that day is going to be there for all of us, hopefully very distant in the future. But I applaud them for doing this quite a few years ago now. Obviously, they've made a few adjustments, and we get a lot of people who have pre-planned before, who their circumstances have changed, and we can make changes. Even if at the time of passing, if people want something different, we of course can accommodate that.
Now,
and of course, people don't need to pre-plan, but it's certainly best option to save some money and hassle for the family.
Now, I want to bring up Chef because he looks like he's cooking a million mile a minute here.
Wayne, it smells so good in here.
Wayne, you're missing.
Oh, I can smell it from here.
Can you smell it? Let's give him some sense.
So we got the gyro meat. We're gonna put some sliced cucumber, a little red onion.
Now, the gyro meat, that comes like from a gyro cow?
from a gyro cow.
Animal meat is called a gyro. It's spelled with a Y.
The hell's a
lamb and beef mixture.
What is a gyro meat?
It's lamb and beef meatloaf. and it's just
Lamb and
sliced
Lamb
thin.
and lamb what?
And beef.
It's usually on a big roll
Meat
and with the
loaf.
heater and it spins.
How do you
and
get
they cut it
lamb
off.
and beef on a roll?
You put it in the meatloaf, and then you slice
Yeah, how does it get on a stick?
Yeah, how's it
though?
get on a stick?
Put it on a stick.
You cut it on
I
a
think there's some
stick.
human intervention there.
Wow. Wayne, you
Holy
want some?
smoke.
I hope you didn't have to
I would
wait
love
too
some.
long.
You made this in about 2
That's
minutes.
one thing in England. They've got a fish and chip shop, a kebab shop, which is basically that's what it is. And well, a gyro is a bit different, but
Now you
similar
like
to
you like
kebab.
fish and chips, right?
I love fish and chips.
That's like an old English like deliciousness.
Wow.
It's like a
This is
necessity.
delicious.
Aww.
Pop up. That's why
Yeah,
they
you
call
sure?
it pop up.
You got your shirt?
No, I ate it.
This is amazing, Chef.
Thank you.
Wow. Wayne, and your 10% discount, I know it's end of the year and we're celebrating the holidays, but again, you said my parents have pre-planned everything. And so now having a conversation with them is not stressful at all. Because we have the conversation, this is what they want, this is what's planned, they showed me all the contracts. It makes it much better.
Yeah, and that's what we say to people. You know, this time of year in particular, you're seeing your family. You want to get those things in place. Just let them know it's done. I've never had an adult son or daughter say to me, I hated that my mom and dad have pre-planned their funeral. I really wanted to do that for them and pay everything. Never. So once they say, I planned this for you, here are the details, here all the time, it's all done. What a relief for everybody. We do get sometimes people say, to their parents, mom and dad, don't worry about it. I'll deal with it at the time. And they take on that burden. And I can understand people, want to do that. But what I say to people is, don't wait until that day comes. If you do want to take on that responsibility financially for your parents, you can do that ahead of time for them. It's going to save you a headache and a lot of money to do it ahead of time.
I have to tell you, all the information that you give us every week about the difference in pricing and the 30%, I need to tell everyone, he's 100% factual because my parents finished paying all of their things in 2008, and there was the price. Now we're in 2020, about 30 years later, right? Give or take. And there's a 30% increase.
Yeah.
I mean, you are true to your numbers. He's not making this up. It is. I saw it in black and white on Sunday, and I'm telling you, it makes a difference. And now 10% discount makes another huge difference.
Well, yeah, and actually they had a special deal going on, like I've mentioned. Right now, it's 15% off for cemetery purchase through the end of the year, so actually they went with that discount. It was better than the 10% discount we can always offer for your listeners. So they got actually a better deal through that special offer that's going on now.
Is that on cemetery or at cemetery and crypts?
So it's cemetery.
Okay.
So any cemetery in our network, 15% off with 15% down, and the balance can be 0%. If they don't want to pay it all up front, they can spread out the payments. They just need to pay 15% down, and the balance will be in a 0% interest payment plan for 5 years.
And the insurance that we talk about all the time, again, I told my parents, I feel like I was a giant infomercial for Dignity Memorial on Sunday at brunch. They said, how do you know? Is that really a thing? I said, yeah, if you can't afford this, you can do this.
Yeah. So the insurance bit we can do for all the funeral plans, and that's going to be up to 10 years, depending on what your needs are. You can do like a 10-year payment plan with or without that protection. We encourage people to include that protection, and basically what that is a term life insurance policy covering the balance. So let's say it's a $10,000 funeral plan. You can certainly do a plan for far less than that if you want. But let's say it's $10,000. We can spread those payments up to 10 years with that payment protection. We just need that first payment. That locks in the price, spreads out the payment, and then with that life insurance policy, heaven forbid something were to happen to the person before the end of that 10-year period, the balance is covered by that life insurance. So there isn't anything that the family needs to pay. Even if it's only made a few payments, heaven forbid, the balance can be covered.
It's really amazing, all the things that Dignity offers, and we talk about it week after week for about a year now. Wayne has become a good friend of ours in the Café and Dignity. But when you share the information with people that don't know it, they think this is like the gift.
They don't
This is
believe
a
it.
holiday gift. They can't believe just when you get a percentage and people are being nice and helpful, but then there's an insurance policy and then there's a payout option. Truly is, you offer so many great options for everybody.
Yeah, and so what I do and what my other colleagues do is when we meet someone, it's like, if you're interested in doing your pre-arrangements, you guarantee this is going to be a better option than not doing it. We know that the prices increase, like I've mentioned before, and we run through the different scenarios. Are you able to pay it all up front? We can lock it, the price is locked and it's never gonna go up for you. That's also transferable anywhere in a network, over 2,600 locations. So if you do end up moving, then your plan or even your cemetery plot takes, like I explained to your parents, that transfer of cemetery property also is in play if you move more than 75 miles away. So unfortunately, we couldn't do that transfer from one local cemetery to the other. But if they were to move, if you're to move to another state or another location more than 75 miles away, we'll even transfer like-for-like cemetery property to another cemetery.
It's unbelievable. There's so many incredible options that Dignity offers. I know you're eating, you're enjoying. Wayne, we really miss having you here for food. Chef, this is unbelievable.
Thank you.
I miss eating.
You miss eating.
I missed it.
Unbelievable. This is like when Wayne puts on a seminar.
I know.
I get information. See, I know the information, which is fantastic. And no, it's not a joke. You do get the discounts. We got 5,000 followers or more. Everybody should be calling Wayne. Just find out what it is you got to get done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we encourage everybody, don't wait. At least find out, what's possible there. If you put it off for 10 years, those prices are going to go up quite a lot. You're going to lose a lot of money there. So, we encourage you, find out about it. We can lock in the prices for you. We can set up a payment plan. We can at least put the basics in place. So worst case scenario, something happens earlier than anyone expects. At least the family's not scrambling around trying to call around when someone's critically ill or just passed away, trying to find someone to take care of things. You definitely don't want to be in that position. At least we can, you know who to call. We can do the basics to start things going, and then we can add things depending on what the circumstances are. Or you can set up for yourself. He's like, you know what? I'm worth it. I'm gonna have a grand send off. I'm gonna do a celebration of life. I'm gonna do all these things as a gift from my family, so they don't have to worry about it. And I'm gonna go out in style. So we can do one or the other, somewhere in between. And a lot of people are still debating. Should I do cremation or burial better for me? I can run through the different options there. There's a lot more possibilities than you're aware of to help you decide what's right for you and your family. So we can get things, the goal is to get a plan together that's right for you. And every plan is different than another. We can make it fit for you. And then later on in life, if those circumstances change, we can change your plan. We get a lot of people do that. They've planned initially to use their family burial plots up in another state. We can get those pre-arrangements in place using our network, have it very smooth. But a lot of people have done that or have thought about it, and they've said, you know what? None of my family are living up there anymore. Why am I going to do that? No one's going to be able to come visit me at the cemetery. I think I'm going to change to something more local, or maybe I'll do cremation. So we can help you explore all the options and then hopefully get something in place for you. So it's affordable, spread out the payments, lock in the prices. Prices always go up in the new year. So if you are thinking about doing this sooner than later, you've got the Brooklyn Café discount we've got in place because you've joined the Dignity Memorial Benefit Program. Any viewer, any listener has access to that. If we don't have any other offer that's greater than that, you're guaranteed at least 10% off everything that you prearrange. Heaven forbid something were to happen to you or one of your family members, you can still get that 10% off. But explore the options with us. We can get those things in place for you.
When do you get back in town?
I'm back to work on the 4th of January.
So if I want to put anything in place, I can call you?
Sure.
Okay. Because I'm thinking.
Yeah, we can also
end of
do
the
things
year,
virtually.
We can do it all virtually. Awesome. Because I tell everyone and they go, I don't want to talk about it. It's not funny. I said, I'm not laughing. But since no one else wants to talk about it with me, I'm thinking I'm just going to talk with you about it.
100%. That's what we're about, you know?
And then everyone else can get on board when they're ready. But at least I know for my kids that it's taken care of for me.
Yep. I mean, I guarantee you and your family are going to need this eventually. So, and the earlier you do it, the better. The more money I can help save you. And heaven forbid something were to happen unexpectedly, your family's not caught off guard.
That's true.
Amazing. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us. As always, have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys enjoy. I'm missing you guys this week.
We miss you also.
Missing the food. Looks tasty.
We'll have to do it again when you come back after the 4th. And your puppy is adorable.
Oh, yeah, he's our joy.
Thank you again,
We're having
Wayne.
a
Have
good
a
time.
happy, safe Christmas and New Year's. Maybe next week you can join us again before New Year's.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
we're here
And
not
thank
doing
you
much,
again.
so.
Thank you again for helping
All right,
my
take care.
parents.
Be well,
I truly
guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, we
Let's
got
go
to
to
bring
Chef.
Chef Mark over because Mark has cooked, cleaned up, and served in 10 minutes.
He's
Holy
the
smokes.
fastest cook I've ever seen
Teddy
in
and
my life.
Val, did you guys get some? You can, guys. You can. Ted, you can pick it out.
I thought you didn't want. My bad. I grab it over. I'm so sorry.
Can we see that deliciousness?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna eat all of it.
Now, where did you get the meat? I gotta start with the
I
meat.
actually purchased it from a Greek market.
The meat is outstanding.
So this is beef and lamb meatloaf. I've never heard of it quite referred to that. How do they get it so smooth?
It's just
Wow.
baked meatloaf
Have
mixed
another one.
together, and then you just slice it thin. So
Is that really what it is?
you doubling up.
That's
I
really
turned
what it is?
Greek.
It's thin sliced meatloaf?
No,
Yeah.
this is. I've seen things in my life. This meat, I usually love Greek food. Linda loves Greek food.
I love Greek
But
food
the
too.
meat,
This is
the
delicious.
meat, this meat is outstanding.
And then came to play.
And how quickly you make this thing is really kind of scary.
I mean, literally, he walked in the door a half hour ago and he's cooked, cleaned, and done.
He's already cleaned up.
It's Christmas week. I got work to do.
What are you
Brilliant.
doing for Christmas? This is amazing, Mark.
I'm booked tomorrow, but I'm booked till January 2nd straight through, and then I've already booked like 13, 14 days in January. So just
So let me
Taking
ask you,
those
because you've graced us for so many weeks now, months, and helping us and feeding us, and it's always delicious. The pandemic, we met you through unemployment lows, and things had changed for you. What has now, it seems to be an upsurge for business for you.
yeah, I mean, I guess people feel a little bit more comfortable having people in their homes. Season has started, so a lot of people have come from other states where they may not be so open, and have come to Florida, and now they have these beautiful homes and don't want to go to restaurants. And I'm Mark.
Do you like
I'm a
gyro?
cook.
Come and sit. We have one for you.
We have one, yes.
Sit over here. Have one.
Right on time.
Sit right there.
Have lunch.
Have one. We got a gyro
Welcome
for
for
you.
lunch.
Hello.
Smells so good here.
Thanks.
The gyro. So let people know how they can reach you. Let's start there.
You can reach me on my Instagram at Mark Fiori, MarkFiori, or on my cell phone, 954-864-2871. I can cook anywhere you want me, any food you want. Just give me a call, let me know, we'll work it out.
And I think people are enjoying being home instead of if they're worried about going out or not going out. You can have two people, you can have a whole dinner party. Mark will do up to how many, 100? Or more.
You call me, and we'll figure it out.
He can't say that
And
because it's COVID, but.
and then he cleans afterwards. You
And
don't
you-
even need a dishwasher.
And every time Mark's here, he leaves us something, which means you're coming back.
It means you're coming back. I worry when he doesn't. What day are you up to in January is what people want to know.
I don't know.
January
Book every
2nd.
Sunday, every Thursday. I think my first day off is January 3rd.
And tell us about Our Lord's Place. What's happening there
Our
for
Father's
Christmas?
House
Our
Soup
Father's
Kitchen.
House.
Yeah. Our Father's House Soup Kitchen in Pompano Beach. We're still going there a couple times a week, making soup for the people. If you have any donations, clothes, food, etc., please feel free to contact me or them directly. That's Our Father's House Soup Kitchen in Pompano Beach, Florida.
And what's
yeah.
happening there for Christmas?
They're giving away rotisserie chickens tomorrow. Unfortunately, I cannot be there because it is the busiest.
You'll be
holiday
working.
For me, yes. But I was there this morning, and we made a nice lentil soup, so I'll be fed for the rest of the week. And yeah.
Always giving back, but it's nice to know you're able to grow your business and pivot and do what you're doing. Everyone else can be fed. He's done, and it's there for you. No one should go hungry. It's going to be cold. It's Christmas, and there is food.
That's right. Tastes better when you share it.
There you go. Hashtag tastes better when you share it. You should learn that trick.
What?
Sharing food. Look at it. Look at him. He's like, my hand's in the cookie jar, and no, you can't
Guy's
have
on
any.
a second gyro. He's the wrong person to be
Did
talking
you
to.
see that look of fear when I said share? It was truly, no, I don't think so.
Listen, when you make a gyro like this, you got to have at least 2.
And this is a different wrap. What is this, whole wheat?
Whole wheat pita, yeah.
Delicious. Look, healthy food for you.
Okay, we're going healthy.
Chef Mark Fiore, always delicious. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
guys.
us. Merry Christmas.
Likewise,
Stay
happy
safe.
holidays.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, let's wrap up our Tuesday. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Introducing Black Tie Liquors, your one-stop shop for wine and spirit needs. Whether you're looking for an ice-cold pack of summer brews or just to grab your favorite bottle of Scotch whiskey, Black Tie Liquors has you covered. Come choose from a wide selection of beers, wines, spirits, or liqueurs. Or if you're in the mood, feel free to grab one of our fresh cigars. Stop by Black Tie Liquors today, located on 5970 South Jog Road, Lake Worth, Florida. Or give them a call at 561-968-0988.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You're so funny. What was it like when you were a little kid and someone
like
asked
it
you
is
to
now.
share your Oreos? Was it that look of
My
fear?
Oreos.
Am I right? Were you like the kid with your hand in the cookie jar and your sister says and you went, oh no, I don't have my
I
Oreos.
put them in my pocket.
Fine. Remember when you went in the back slick and took Oreos? And it was like Oreos?
They watch everything I do here. If I eat cookies, they watch me.
But I'm watching you with that gyro. It is delicious, isn't it?
First of all, you don't know if it was 12.
How many fit in your hand? That could be a contest. How many?
You had them stacked. I don't know how you did it.
A sleeve of Oreos, a sleeve of Ritz.
You had a method to your madness.
Slick, you have your gyro?
Oh yeah, of course. I just didn't finish it.
Why?
Because he had lunch breakfast an hour ago.
Oh yeah, I had breakfast / lunch brunch.
Do you remember the segment we did with you with the Ritz?
Oh yeah, well we had to make a thing on a Ritz. Yeah.
So now we have a sleeve of Ritz. So we had a lady come in here.
A chef yesterday.
Chef.
Yeah.
And I told her about the show, about how you do Ritz. So she crushed them up. And what'd she do?
Goat cheese, cream cheese truffles with dried cranberries and parsley. And then the second round was rolled in Ritz. And just so you know, Publix is having a buy one, get one free on Ritz today because she sent me the picture. She said, how come when you see one thing, it comes back? And now it's with you forever. So forever, Freddie, you're in her heart of the Ritz.
So she put it on the menu. So now we have to go down there because I need my Ritz.
Oh, jeez.
Did you know it used to be with Ritz for subliminal advertising that if you took the sleeves out, somehow they all line up. If you find the right ones, it spells the word sex.
Oh, we should go try that. How many do you need?
You need a box of Ritz. Yep.
I gotta run.
Chef Mark Fiore, thank you so much.
We'll be in touch with your show.
Thank you, Chef.
I'm down.
Fantastic. Merry Christmas, Mark.
Hold on. I need to understand this.
We got a box in the back.
We have a box of
What do
Ritz.
you mean it spells out sex?
That is part of, I don't know if it still does, but in the early 2000s, when you took it out and you placed it and you found the right little dots to all line up, you can find the ones that spell sex.
How do you line up the dots?
I don't know, let's go find the
You just gotta
dots.
go through the whole thing. and
There are
find-
dots?
Yeah, Ritz have dots on them. Dots, like they have 4 dots. Boom, boom. If you look at a Ritz, you'll see they have dots on them.
She is a vast of information. Vast
She's
of
like a teacher from high school.
Like useless knowledge. Just a bastion of useless knowledge.
Jen G from Moby Pop, our digital marketing card. As always, you can text Café to 55312.
I'm going to have to go through those cases of Ritz we got here.
How about that?
How do you line them up?
We got to see. We got
And
to
it
check
spells
that
the
out
word
and
sex.
see.
And you did this?
Yeah.
Talk into your microphone.
Oh.
Correct.
You did this and it did spell out the word sex?
I was teaching a marketing class, and we were going through what different things happen with subliminal advertising. So like Disney has a whole slew of subliminal advertising like built into their cartoons. So we went through different types of invasive and non-invasive subliminal advertising. Some's illegal, they don't do it anymore, you know, so yeah.
Hence the word illegal.
Do they still do that now?
There are very specific rules that govern around what can and cannot be done in advertising, based on like some abuses that happened for sure.
Like car commercials. Every time I see one, I get like, I gotta have sex. Is that still?
You see a car commercial,
Wait, what?
you have to have sex?
It's subliminal messages in the car commercial.
Why, is it filled with Ritz crackers?
Yeah. I'm not really sure where you're watching these commercials, but
You leave me speechless.
I think we're watching different commercials.
And beer commercials. You ever watch beer commercials?
They want to have sex too?
I think I want to go have sex.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like a conditioned response for like the products itself.
So everything you see makes you want to have sex?
No, just certain things.
Just beer, Ritz crackers, and cars. What else
Subliminal.
is there?
I'm thinking about
Diabetic medication.
Gyros,
whatever.
Gyros?
Oh, sex.
All right.
Such a crazy man.
You're aroused.
Did you see my? This is the mask to protect me.
That's
nice.
The
So you
DeWitt.
can't ever
That's the
believe-
DeWitt Clinton High School mask.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is. That's the governor's. That way you never know what I'm thinking.
I call that the Bronx meets Boca mask.
That's right.
You got that tooth there, the grill, as Teddy calls it.
And it's not a grill.
It's just a tooth.
That's a gold tooth. Yeah.
It's the beginning of a grill.
Yeah, you need a grill.
What's happening with Moby Pop?
You know, same old stuff. Just
Working.
growing and working with great clients and having a good time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really incredible. More corporate clients I see.
Yeah, we we have a lot of like individual clients, but we've really started to specialize in corporate clients.
Which
Digital
makes
marketing.
the numbers bigger. How does it feel to be a pioneer to that science? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I got it," but it's not exactly what you do.
It's interesting, like, as you know, because we've known each other for a long time. In the beginning, nobody really knew what to make of it, but once it starts to snowball, like we got it up the hill, then it just goes and, you know, it catches on. But it's certainly, you can never rest on your laurels in tech. You always have to beta and create new products because there's always somebody behind you getting ready to pounce. So you always have to be about 2 years ahead of everybody else, which luckily MobiPop has always been.
And luckily you don't require a whole lot of sleep either.
Yeah.
Because it's not only here in the United States, you're global.
We are global, yes.
Which means you're 24/7 on call.
We are. I'm lucky that I have a great staff. You know, I have some people who work with me. It's all a collaborative effort, so it's not just me. It's everybody who works together, and they've done an amazing job. So.
And we've known Jen for what, 2 years? From the inception of MobiPop.
Yeah.
And where do you want this to go, Jen? In the next 5 years, what would you like it to turn into?
We have some plans.
So you have an idea already?
100%. Always, whenever you start any business, you have to have a roadmap. Because if you don't have a roadmap with specific benchmarks in it, you won't know where you're going. So what I do is I start at the end and I work backwards.
That's
Start
interesting.
at the end and work backwards, which
It's like
makes
you
it
do a
forward.
maze.
But she starts at the end and works backwards.
No, but maze is some people start backwards to go to the
I start at the end
start.
of my maze, and then I work up to the beginning.
So I know ultimately where I want to be, and now I create the steps to get to my end game. Because if you don't know ultimately where you want to be, you can't create the right steps to get to it. And along the way, you can like shape and change it, but so like nobody expected COVID, right? So everybody had to pivot. It didn't change our end game, it just changed how we got to it. So we have a very clear corporate vision.
That's a good way of looking at it. You know, that's a good way of looking. That's different with the end game. I kind of like that. And when are you going to make the MobiPop game, like, you know, rating and things of that nature?
Wait, what?
Oh, digital game?
Oh, for
Like
the
a
digital
gaming?
gaming card?
Yeah, when are you going to make your game, your specific game? I'm
Well,
sure
we're
you're
not
gonna-
making a MobiPop game. We're just going to be a something that gamers can use to communicate with their community. But we're not going to
That's
make a
interesting.
MobiPop game. We're a platform to engage with your community immediately and different, so that you can control your messaging. That's what we do.
I don't know how you do it, but it's always amazing because I can't even download app. I went to go pick up BJ's in the parking lot. I couldn't remember my password, and I needed to let them know I was there. And I went through this whole panic, and I'm thinking, you do this. You create all these apps that make me crazy, but it's amazing. And so many things you're doing, I've seen on national TV, and I knew they were yours based on the verbiage. And huge congratulations to
Thank
you on
you.
growing your dream
Thank
on the
you.
next step.
Yeah.
Slick, you do gaming?
Like what type of gaming? As in console gaming or what?
PC.
PC?
And console, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had to slow down because of like the situation I have with you guys and other jobs.
So
But
you
I did at a certain time, but I'm not really
You don't
into it anymore.
Right.
But I do have the consoles, but I never.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not playing gaming?
No, I'm not really. I'm not.
I see you on your phone, you're
either
still up.
either a girl's breaking my heart as they usually do, and I fall asleep with a broken heart. Yeah,
Don't
you
fall
know.
for that. He says that all the time.
What are you talking about? They take it back.
To download our MobiPop, all you have to do is go to your phone, start a text message, and text Café to 55312 and find all of our information. Even takes you right to our site.
It's funny, my sister did that. And she says, wow, it really works. I said, yeah.
And we're just the beginning of that beta from 2 years ago, and it's grown by leaps and bounds. So thank you for being part of our family.
Well, thank you. You guys have been tremendous, and we look to grow with everybody. We're super excited.
More to do. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to MobiPop. Happy New Year to you. Have a great afternoon, everyone. We've got some more production to do to get ready for the holidays. We've got a couple things. We've got 2-minute warning coming up for the next hour or so. I know you didn't even know.
What?
Thank you very much. Have a safe afternoon, everyone. Be safe. Be kind to each other. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And always know where you are. Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
What?
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.